Hey guys, Mark here, and this is the Note 10. Now I realize I'm about 8 or so months late to review this phone as it came out in August of 2019, but there's a reason I picked this guy up recently and decided to give it a shot. The Note 10 has fallen in price from its $1,000 initial price tag to $799, a price that's much more competitive. I also expect that the phone will continue to fall in price as the date gets closer to the Note 20 launch in August or September of this year, and as it does, a lot more of you guys will be considering this phone. When the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus first released, a lot of people had mixed thoughts about this phone, and understandably so. The Note 10 Plus was the better phone on paper by far. It was a 1080p display versus a 1440p display, 8 gigs of RAM versus 12 gigs of RAM, and 3500 mAh battery versus a 4300 mAh battery. The Note 10 Plus is just a better phone spec-wise. But I actually like the regular Note 10 more despite the spec differences. The Note 10 has a smaller 6.3-inch display, making it much more comfortable in the hands and much more usable in my opinion. I don't have anything against huge screen phones, I just don't find them all that comfortable to hold, and the 6.3-inch screen on the regular Note 10 just hits the sweet spot for me. It's plenty big for media consumption, and as with all the Infinity O displays that Samsung makes, I don't find that hole punch to be too intrusive, although it is quite a bit bigger than the newer Samsung Galaxy A51 that I reviewed recently. As I've mentioned previously, we've got a Full HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display here at a pixel density of 401 ppi, making the screen plenty sharp for everyday use. I don't personally miss 1440p resolution on this phone, and while it would have been nice for the display to be that extra bit sharp, it would have also taken a huge toll on the battery life with the relatively small 3500 mAh battery inside. As is fairly standard for Samsung displays, this one curves over the edges of the phone. This is easily my biggest complaint design-wise. I really wish Samsung would drop the curved edges gimmick. It produces a lot of accidental touches, and it just doesn't look all that great in my opinion. They seem to be going in that direction with the S20 lineup having less curved edges, but I really hope that the Note 20 doesn't have any at all. The Note 10 has a pair of stereo speakers that get very loud and actually sound pretty decent. One's at the top and one is bottom firing, which seems to be the standard approach for doing stereo speakers these days. The phone is also IP68 certified for water and dust resistance, which should make your debilitating fear of dropping your phone in the toilet a little less severe. Now, I'm sure you've noticed from all the angles of the phone I've been giving you, but the Note 10 is officially the first Note device to not have a headphone jack, and that sucks, but in 2020, I don't care all that much. I've mostly moved to Bluetooth anyway. The glass back of this particular black Note 10 is pretty plain Jane, but you can also get the Aura Glow color if you really want to stand out. The Note 10 features 3 rear-facing cameras, an ultra-wide, a wide, and a 2x telephoto. It's missing the depth sensor on the Note 10 Plus, but I haven't found that to be much of a loss, as the camera still takes great photos with natural-looking bokeh. Samsung has always had a pretty solid camera system, and the Note 10, being a flagship device, means that this phone is no different. You won't be quite getting a Pixel 4 or iPhone 11 quality here, but there's plenty of details and photos, and the image processing and HDR seems to be doing a great job most of the time. For video, the Note 10's rear camera array shoots up to 4K and 60 FPS, while the front cameras can shoot 4K up to 30 FPS. I'll leave these video samples up here for you guys for now, but if you want to see a more detailed test of the cameras, let me know in a comment below. One of the biggest advantages of the Note lineup has always been the S Pen, and while it's been taking a bit of a backseat behind specs lately, it's still a big star of the show. Writing with the S Pen is very comfortable, and I really do enjoy making notes on it when I need to. It makes grocery shopping a heck of a lot easier. While I'm definitely not an artist, the Note 10 features a lot of cool art in the PenUp app, and it even has instructions for how to draw or follow along with drawing certain art. The S Pen has pressure sensitivity, which is really good news for people that enjoy making art, and judging by the creations that are on here, I'd say that it's a fairly darn good device for drawing on the go. New to the Note 10 is these weird air gestures. You can switch between cameras, you can use the button to take pictures, and you can do other stuff like skip through songs on Spotify. It's a bit of a weird feeling, but it's cool that they managed to fit a 6-axis motion sensor and a gyroscope in this tiny little pen. The only thing I don't like about the S Pen is how tiny and frail it feels. I feel like if I grip the pen too hard, I'm gonna snap it like a toothpick, because after all, it's basically the size of a big toothpick. But thankfully that hasn't happened yet, and hopefully it never will. The S Pen is also just a secondary way to interact with your phone. You can treat it as if you would your finger and swipe through menus or tap on stuff and just generally do everything you'd normally do with your finger. Almost like one of those old Palm PCs people had in the early 2000s. Anybody else remember those? Anyway, the S Pen remains one of my favorite features of the Note 10, and that's not changing anytime soon. I'm going to get into battery life and performance in just a sec, but first I need to say a few words about this channel's first sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is one of the easiest and most simple ways you can protect yourself online. It works by creating an encrypted tunnel between your computer and the host you're trying to access, and you can get it by going to nordvpn.org/spurl or by clicking on the link in the video description below. NordVPN actually has a lot of different uses. Yes, it'll protect you while you're at home on your computer or laptop, but you can also put it on your Android or iPhone and have it protect you while you're out and about or on public Wi-Fi. Aside from protecting you from getting your personal or banking information stolen, you can also use it to access region-locked content that you normally wouldn't be able to access without living in a particular country. For example, I live in Canada, so I can't watch Hulu, but with NordVPN I can switch my country to the US and bypass those restrictions. It literally takes 3 seconds. It's also super fast too. I've experienced very little speed differences between when my VPN is on versus when it's off, which surprised me when I first tried out Nord. It's an awesome service, it's safe, it's got top ratings all around, and it's the perfect thing to keep you internet safe while we're all trying to protect ourselves by staying inside. Again, use the promo code SPURL or click on the link in the video description below to get 70% off a 3-year plan plus 1 month additionally for absolutely free. All right, back to the Note 10. In terms of performance, the Note 10 holds its own as a premium flagship. It's got a Snapdragon 855 and 8 gigs of RAM, along with 256 gigs of UFS 3.0 storage, and overall, it just hasn't disappointed me at all. There have been next to no hiccups, no slowdowns or glitches. Everything has run extremely smoothly, and I really don't have anything to complain about with regards to speed and performance. I mean, nor should I. This is a really expensive phone after all. Unfortunately, it does let me down in one area: battery life. This phone has a smaller battery than the much cheaper Samsung Galaxy A51, and it kind of shows. I'm barely getting a full day out of this phone, and to be honest, I use my phone a lot less than most of you people. The Note 10 does support 25 watts of fast charging through the USB-C 3.1 port though, as well as 12 watts of wireless charging, but the Note 10 supports 45 watts of fast charging, so yeah, the regular Note 10 gets shafted again. So overall, the Note 10 is a great phone that just gets overshadowed by the bigger brother, the Note 10 Plus. Yes, the Plus is undeniably the better phone on paper, but I personally prefer the smaller form factor and cheaper price over the features that are missing. So I think if you can get a decent deal on the Note 10, just go for it. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to support my channel, and as always, have a great day.